everybody. Welcome to You Are the Operant Power with Gail and
Jane. Hi from Jane. Hi,
hi.
Gail.
Just a quick video about the Harmony, Unity, and Love Challenge. Um, we've done it for a week now, so we're just going to share just a few examples of our experience and hope that you'll share yours with us. So Jane and I have been talking about this, and my experiences are a little bit different than Jane's. Jane's have been very introspective, which she'll get into talking about. Mine have been more using it to deal with things in my outer world that are not quite how I want them to be. And it's mostly, this is over a long period of time. It's not like I run into people in my reality that are irate and fighting on a regular basis, although that's what my examples are. At stores you go, there was one day I was just picking up a few things at the grocery store, and it was at the self-checkout, and there was a man there who was yelling at his daughter, just like top of his voice. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And I thought, it doesn't matter. Harmony, and I'm saying this in my head, right? Harmony, unity, and love. And almost immediately he stopped talking. He just shut right down and never said another word the whole time that I was there.
That's so cool.
I left before he did, but not by much. But and then in the same store, another day, there was a guy, there's a lot of tensions that are running high with the lockdowns and everything that we're going through. And there was another man there that was yelling, oh my gosh, at the clerk, the one that was his self-checkout again. And they have clerk associates that stand there to help if needed, right? So he was yelling at her. I don't know what the issue was. And I walked in again to go and pay for my stuff. And he's like, going on, and I'm like, oh my God, I wonder what. No, I don't care what's up. Harmony, unity, and love. And he stopped, dropped whatever it was that he was trying to buy, walked out of the store.
I love these stories.
Yeah. And even this morning, across the road, they're doing some construction or something on a house a couple of doors down across the road, and I could hear this man yelling, right? And I'm like, well, maybe he's just yelling because the guy's upstairs or something like that. But then I heard a few choice words, and okay, no, it's a little bit more than that. And then I heard the other guy yelling back at him, and they're like across the road, 4 houses down. So it was pretty loud. And I was like, okay, harmony, unity, and love. Silence. It works
so crazy.
Instantly. It's amazing. It works almost.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's just my few examples of, I don't get into the story. I don't get into analyzing it. Just like, no. And well, it's funny. I didn't use it consciously last night, but I was up really late and I had my windows open and I was just doing some work on the computer, and I heard this squeak and squawk, and it was like, I think a cat fight or raccoons. I'm not sure. I'm like, what is going on out there? It was so loud. It was like it was in my yard. It wasn't, but it was in the night when it's quiet, right? It could have been across the road. I don't know. And so I'm like, no, like this doesn't happen in my neighborhood. Like, no, if cats are here, you get along. You don't fight. I don't care about your territories. You get along. And so I made noises, right, to get their attention, to distract them, and it stopped for a minute, but you could still hear the hissing and stuff. And they started, I don't know, they're going at it. And I yelled out the window, stop that! Instant silence. Never heard from them again. Kind of amazing. And I mean, my attitude then was kind of like, this is my neighborhood. That's not acceptable behavior in my neighborhood. I don't care if you are, that's not acceptable behavior.
That's awesome.
Which is kind of the harmony, unity, and love, because that's where I come from, right? That's acceptable behavior. That's what I would.
Right. Yeah.
Acceptable behavior. So it was kind of cool. But you go now with your.
Yeah. Well, mine doesn't even come close. Well, I shouldn't say that.
Well, it's just different.
Yeah, it's
just from a different perspective.
Well, and it's and the end result is the same, that you were manifesting harmony, unity, and love in your reality. So for me, it was just narratives and old thinking and stuff being shown to me all week that I was getting tempted to analyze and judge. So I would just say harmony, unity, and love, harmony, unity, and love. And sometimes I would actually almost chant it just, and so what came up for me throughout the week, it got so bad that I would say harmony, and then the second word wouldn't come to me, the unity part. And I'd be like, was it unity? What was the word? Like, I literally forgot the word, and that was shocking to me. So and it kept happening. Like, I'd get it back, and then there was so much going on that I'd lose it again. And when I say so much going on in my head,
Yeah.
so analyzing and judging, and I got into some judgment stuff. And so I thought I laid in my bed one night and I was like, unity. Why is unity the word I'm forgetting? So I Googled it, of course, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I'm being shown that I don't know what unity is. I'm saying it, but I'm not putting the feeling behind it. And I started thinking about being unified with everybody, and in my mind, I started imagining us all together as one. What was coming up with the stories was this separateness, this feeling that I'm alone, I'm separate, I need other people, and I don't know how to get that, and I'm going to be abandoned and left in the dark alone. Something like that. Like, just,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it took
Nothing
me a
too
while.
deep.
Yeah.
It's like
Not too deep.
every single thing that could come up came up.
I know, right? So
It's good,
I
though.
started,
Yeah.
and I was like, well, who's in charge of that narrative now? And it was quite a big shift of consciousness for me, because I went to bed, I listened to Rita, I went to bed in everything. Thank you for the blessings. Tomorrow is going to be a great day. I can't wait to wake up for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be amazing. And of course it was. And the unity part is the part that I'm being shown. So I'm embracing that and thinking about unity, and like focusing on that word and what the feeling is, and the togetherness and the non-separateness of what it is that keeps trying to creep in. And I shared with you that a lot of sadness came up. So I thought, okay, well, I'm not supposed to just block the sadness. And I thought, okay, I'm supposed to feel sad, cry, and then that's what it was, just a cry. There's no bigger thing. So I did some of that this week, and that went well. I managed not to attach a whole bunch of, as I was crying, these little stories would creep in. Oh yeah, but you're like la 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 la, and then I'd be like, and I'd cry a little bit harder and more, and then I'd be like, no, I'm just sad. I just need to cry. It was good for me. Like, I don't know, maybe that's the couple areas where the unity part was at work in my life this week. So I like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Actually, you know that now that I'm hearing your story, it reminds me, it kind of gives me some insight into an experience I had a few, probably 5 years back, where one evening I just felt this overwhelming sadness and loss, and I guess a bit of loneliness. I don't remember that as being really strong, but the loss, the feeling of loss, and I was just crying, and I didn't know. I mean, I had these things come into my head. Well, it's about this. Well, no, that doesn't really make sense. It doesn't feel like that, and so I rejected those kinds of stories as well. And I was looking at that time. I'm like, I need to talk to somebody. Like, where is somebody? I need to talk to somebody. And I always have you know, either people I can phone or people in my house or friends online or whatever. Nobody that day, that evening, nobody online. I'm like, shit, I got to do this.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I ended up, and I had a huge shift the next day. Like it was a noticeable shift. And I think now, kind of listening to what you're saying, like, I think that was my moment for that whole, I didn't recognize it as unity or separateness or wholeness or anything in those terms at that time. But I absolutely now think, in thinking back on it, that's exactly what it was too. It's kind of like, and what I learned from it was that I was okay.
Yes.
I didn't
Yeah.
like what I was feeling. I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. Right.
I didn't like initially that I had nobody that I could turn to. And so I turned to myself.
Yes.
Did
Yes.
whatever I felt like I wanted to do that could make me understand or feel better, I guess. And I probably went on, the tears probably were there for about an hour and a half. And then they were gone. They're kind of like somebody turned the faucet on and then it was drained. It was empty, that there was no more tears to come. And then like I said, I felt a huge shift the next day. And I guess that's probably, you know, and just listening
Yeah.
and thinking about it, it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
That I did have a moment. I just didn't identify it as such at the time.
And before I had all that happen, I was telling you, like, it was like I was going into I remembered the Noah story because there was a lot coming at me, like a lot. And I was like, yeah, and right. And I was like, oh my God, it's the flood and I need to go into my ark. I need to like reunite with so and I did talk to a friend about it, and they questioned some stuff and there was a bit of narrative around it, but it was interesting for me because it was just a simple, like we've talked about, it's a very simple realization that I'm not alone. And holding space for that and letting go of all the other narratives, all the other, and maybe like having had the ability also to let some of the sadness out around it, whatever feeling that was the old feeling attached, and then not rewriting that moving forward. It feels like a place where it's simple and unity is our natural state too, that there's some more, like another layer on that, where it's not just, oh, you're not alone, you have people around you and all the people are one. So
and
there's
nature, everything.
Nature and everything. And there's no way to extrapolate other than in your mind to tell yourself a story that that's true. And so there's another opportunity to so it was cool that it was weird how it came up too, how I forgot the word, which was really kind of alarming to me. I was like, how can I forget it?
Yeah.
Right?
Sure, call for a challenge. You can't even remember the words.
Right. It was awesome. I love it.
That's cool. That's cool. So that's all I have right now. Are you good?
I'm good.
Well, thanks to everybody. Thank you to our patrons. Thank you to all those that leave a message. Please give us your examples. We'd love to hear them.
Yeah.
And subscribe. Pass this on if you think anybody can benefit from it. And we'll talk to you soon. See you, Jane.
Bye for now.